Hi, the next video is on what Moodle Choice is and how to use a Moodle Choice. I use Moodle Choices in my class all the time, and it basically allows students to make choices. It's kind of like a one-question survey that you can dole out things and responses on. For instance, I don't want all my students doing the exact same presentation when we're doing a research project in the class, so I give kind of a wide variety or range of choices and limit how many people can make each one of the choices. And I'll give you an example. So down here in the motherboard section of my class, let me switch view to a little better, cleaner view here. The clean course view cleans up all restrictions so it just looks nice. So if I go down here to the motherboard project, the first thing the students have to do is choose their research project choices. So when they go there, they see, and you have to basically look at this, but they each have a company and a socket manufacturer to choose when they're doing their project. So one person can choose to use ASUS and an Intel socket, Gigabyte, which these are all motherboard manufacturing companies, and Intel, MSI and Intel, ASRock and Intel, and then the BioStar and AMD, ASUS and AMD, Gigabyte and AMD, and MSI and AMD. So when I set this up, my students then come in here, and each of these, in this case of this class, are limited to one per person. So they each come in and say, that's what I've got, and then it's theirs. If I had a class of 24 kids and I had 8 choices like this, I can limit it to 3 choices per kid, or per student. So when they come in here and I pick the class, then it shows who picked what, and I have more choices than I have students in this class. So Harry Phillips's presentation will be from the company ASUS, and it will be on Intel socket CPUs. So my students each pick what they're going to do their presentation on, and nobody's doing the same one. And so it allows you to have projects in your class, and this is how I use it, where when the presentations are done, we're not getting 12 people doing the same thing. And I've actually been using this since I started using Moodle back when I was teaching Computer 1, and I had a bunch of kids in my class, and we did music videos. I after my first mistake, and somebody asked me if they could use ICP, which stands for Insane Clown Posse, and that was a mistake, saying they could do, sure. I started putting down artists and saying, hey, here's the list of artists that you could do a music video on for your PowerPoint project. That way they had some level of choice, but I still made sure that they were school-friendly artists before they even got to that point in their project. So you could use it for any kind of class, giving students choices on maybe what they want to do next, how they want to do it, whether you could give them as much as, hey, you can choose to do it on PowerPoint or Google Slides or Visio, whatever they want to use as their presentation choice, but you might limit it on how many people can do each one or something. So that's what a choice is. So let me show you how to make a choice. So I'm going to go ahead and make a choice up in the demo area of my class. So we're going to turn editing on, and I'm going to add a choice. So choose your topic. And then I don't have to have a description. Maybe that's enough if I talk about it in class. Only 2 students can do the same topic. Okay, so now when I go down here, by the way, this little check box, it just says, is that going to show up on there or not? That's what it's saying, where description shows up on the course page. Now, our options, I can do them either vertically or horizontally, that's totally up to me. Do I want to allow students to make a choice and then update the choice later? Well, if in the course of a project, I'm going to leave it as the default of no. Maybe there's something you're doing that you want them to go in and change what they're doing and be able to change it. That's up to you. Or maybe I just want to say yes up until they're all taken, and then you don't have a way to do your choice. I can change this later, by the way. I can say yes initially and then say nope. You only were able to switch during the first day, and now they're locked. Allow more than one choice to be selected. No is the normal, and if you said yes, you're making it more of a survey type thing, I guess. Limit the number of responses. You don't have to, but if you're doing it for something like a project, I say yes. So as I do each of these, I just said the limit was 2 per subject, and you can see there's a spot down here to add more fields. So I don't even know what we're pretending the presentation on. Let's say it was on since this is music week, we'll do it on different artists. That's not spelled right. So and there, I'll date myself with all those. Oh, I'm supposed to say the birds. Okay, so in this, obviously I'm saying I have less than 10 students in the class. If I wanted to add more fields, I could keep clicking that and adding more and more and more options. It adds 3 at a time, and I can add tons of them out there. So these are the ones they have. There can be 2-person choosing each one. Availability is if you wanted to open on a certain date. For instance, you could tell your students, hey, it's not available right now, but it opens up tonight at 7 o'clock, and it's first come, first serve. And you've kind of just said everybody has equal opportunity because you're doing it across multiple classes maybe. So maybe you want to do that. I have mine a different way. They have to get 100 on the pre-project quiz before they can do it. So the first person that gets 100 gets the first choice, and they can keep retaking the quiz until they've got 100, and then they can make their choice. You could do it however you wanted to. Results, the default is do not let the students see the results. If it's this, you can say that shows students after they answer, only after the choice is closed, or always show the results. I'm not sure why you wouldn't, but you could do any of those options. We'll leave it on there. Show column for unanswered one. Sure, what the unanswered ones we'll leave out there. And include responses from inactors. No, we're not going to do that. Okay, so I'm going to hit save and display. So when students come in here, since I left it in this, they got, hey, anonymous results will be published after your answer. So after I say Eric Clapton and hit save my choice, now I can see how many people have chosen Eric Clapton as their answer. And look, I can see the response. I know that Brian Poole chose Eric Clapton there as well. So that's the choice module. It's a great way to break up projects. If you're doing any project-based assignments and you're tired of everybody doing the same ones, or students coming in all the time, can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do? You just come up with a list and hey, those are your options. And maybe you restrict how many people can do each one. Maybe you say everybody do the same one. It's up to you. But that's what the choice can be used for. I'm sure there's other options for this you can use to gather feedback on a class. You could use it for a vote if you wanted to. So you could say, vote on student council president and put the answers there, and then more than one person can vote. And when you go to that summary that we got initially, let me see, I'm going to go back here. When we go back to this summary in the first place, then we would see how many people voted for Eric Clapton, kind of thing, if you wanted to use it for voting. So there's all kinds of ways that you can use the choice module in Moodle.